Today, we are interviewing Twitter user who also used to be really good at tennis, Shawn Hatosy. So, how are you today, Shawn?
I'm great. It's really good to meet you guys.
Really nice
Alex
to
and
meet you.
V. How are you?
Good. V, I think you have our first question.
Right. We wanted to start off casual. We heard that Noah Wiley has a no phone rule on on the set of the pit. Plus, he has like this thing where people bring in books, right, to read and stuff. So we were just wondering how you survived something like that. Because I'm pretty sure there's like a blurry photo of you on your phone looking down in someone's picture, some
Yeah.
still. So like
Yeah.
how did you
Well,
survive that?
it's good that you bring that up. I think the rule in general on John's shows is no cell phones. But I have noticed that, and you can see because pictures are taken all the time. So clearly there's phones on set. And occasionally I might glance at my phone while working. But I missed because Abbott shows up, he's briefly in that first episode. So I didn't get a lot of I didn't get those directives about books and like I didn't get sent a book or I'm not part of the book club. I'm very much an outcast when it comes to the series regulars, which is fine because I feel like Abbott is a bit of a utility player anyways, so it's sort of, he finds comfort in the darkness and I think that works well with both my personal and my professional experience on the pit.
Okay. So, he's an outcast. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
He's using PR lines on us. This is sad.
Say
He's like,
very like,
I.
okay. So following that, if you're such an outcast, you've been acting since the age of 10. So we also know that you've noted in that one interview, in that one article you wrote, for your first time directing on Animal Kingdom, that Pepsi commercial. So we just want to know like a little bit more about that because you said like you didn't have the best experience with that director and how that led to you, how you wanted to direct the language you wanted to use. So if you can we have a little more info? Like what
We
was that
couldn't
first
find that
real
Pepsi commercial no matter
yeah. Well
what we
actually
did.
I think we found a clip of it actually. I have to go back for that, I think. But like I just wanted to know like if it was like that was like your first real set role. So like how did you feel on that set?
Well, I'm sure you're gonna find it because that's what you do. You guys are very good at finding things that I didn't think I'd ever have to face again. So congratulations. And
Okay.
and then I will say that it was an exhausting day, and I don't think it's unusual, particularly in the world of commercials, to be noted to death because I think you're dealing with a director and then you're dealing with the advertising executives. So there's a lot of people that are involved in the creative process. But I think if I could be more succinct, I think that's part of the problem that they don't speak in a language that, creatives understand. And it just felt, and I don't know if I was 10. I might have been a little, I don't remember. I think I was older when I did that. But it just felt like I just didn't feel like I could give them what they wanted. And we didn't speak in terms that, and maybe I didn't even know back then how to, what language acting was. But I certainly, on my path to learning about it in my journey, I understand how to talk to creatives. And I think it's important. I do find that over the years when I've worked with directors that come from acting, because everybody as a director comes from a different area. Like you'll meet a guy that was an editor that became a director, or a cinematographer, or somebody, or a post-production supervisor that became a director. Um, but I always found that my relationships with my actor directors, they always that always feels so special because Regina King, she directed an Animal Kingdom, she directed a Southland, and we just know what it feels like to be there, to have to interact with a prop and, to not block somebody's light. So there's an understanding and uh, 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 a very special sort of level of communication that exists between actors. And I know I'm talking a lot about it, but I do believe it. And it's not to say that the people that are editors don't come to it with a different thing that that works. But the actor director with that's a former actor relationship is a very special one.
That pipeline is actually really cool. If you see like a lot of people who were actors before who became directors, like Bill Hader, their work
Mhm.
is like really, really good because they have that experience of what it's like to act and direct at the same time. So they're able to like, put on all these hats at the same time.
Yeah.
Super cool. And
It's
how,
totally cool. And just it just, just knowing, like, as an actor, um, and every actor is different, but like for me, for instance, when I have to do an emotional scene, um, if and it's not smart to plan. Like my expectation is, if I'm supposed to cry or if it's written in the script that I gotta cry, you can't ever, as an actor, plan that. You really kind of just have to be emotionally available as you can. And if you plan it, it won't work, in my opinion. So knowing that, I know myself and I understand that I might get tears on take one or take two, but that's it. So I will always say to the director, if that's something that we're chasing, it may be best to start with the close up on this scene because if I won't have it. And that's just something actors kind of know about themselves. So I've noticed that when I've worked with actor directors, um, that they will come to me first and have that idea just because they too know. And so also when I'm working with actors, I will give them that option. I will say, where do you think, how do you feel? Like, are you feeling like we're going to nail this? And they'll tell me. And so that's just a little one of those things, just coming from acting that you have, because we can't do it for some people can. Noah can. For some reason, Noah can do 17 takes and cry every time. I don't know how he does it. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know
that scene was
what's
so
going on there.
good. That scene was so
Yeah.
good where he had like a
Yeah.
breakdown and it was
Yeah.
amazing.
So anyways, that was my thought there.
Real quick, how did you actually get that Pepsi commercial though? Like,
So where I grew up in a smaller town in Maryland, like 45 minutes outside of DC and outside of Baltimore, sort of in a triangle there. And I wanted to be an actor, and the only way you could do that where I grew up is you had to do like community theater, like
right.
musicals.
Second City, wait, which one were you in? There was like a random article where you were in a community theater. I did dig that up. I forgot the name.
Yeah. Yeah, so I did a couple of things like that, and then my high school, I was in middle school, but the high school would allow the middle schoolers to kind of travel and go be in their performances. So I did a couple of those things. And in that process, there was a kid who grew up in my neighborhood who was doing commercials.
Okay.
Somehow he had an agent and was booking things. And my mom talked to his mom and she said, I can introduce you to his manager if you want. And so I did. And that's kind of how it happened for me. It's not like a common thing in from where I grew up for people to have like representation, but it was just a local Baltimore agent who would get me these auditions and I would go do them when I was, in my early teens. And that was like one of the first things I booked.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah, very insightful, honestly. So our next question has to do with again, your method of acting. So we've noticed that you tend to have a different gait per character you're playing. And we wanted to know if that was something that you have established once you've built a background for the role, or if that's just something you subconsciously do. You walk
A
very
certain way.
specifically for each of your
Yeah, like
roles.
Pope has this like rugged, secure in his masculinity sort of walk, while
Yeah.
in Chicago PD, it's like the creepy cop straight walk.
Mm.
It's different every
Confident.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you're building a character and you, I think the physical parts of the character are usually what I focus on first, because that's the only way I can feel like it's in my body. Sometimes, you'll start and you'll read things and it's a voice, but so it's the three things. It's like the physical, how he holds himself, how he like, and it's I definitely fall into like old habits that Shawn brings to things like I use my hands and I'm always trying to erase that from it because I want it to be its own thing. So I usually start with the physical, the walk, how he stands. I had an acting teacher that once, my first one in high school, who told me, it's important to know what shoes your actor wears or your character wears because then it'll inform how you walk. Is he a worker? Does he wear boots? Is he somebody that doesn't wear shoes? Does he wear flip-flops? Oh God. Um, and so yeah, I do. I'm glad you pick up on it because but I think most good actors will build from the physical first. With Pope was such an animalistic character. I spent a lot of time studying. I did animal work with this really great teacher for Pope because I figured why not. So a lot of that comes from that.
Which animal?
Basically
Yeah,
this.
that's really, I don't think we've ever heard that you've done
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Which animal?
Are you making fun of me?
No,
No, no,
no,
no,
like we're
no.
genuinely intrigued by the fact that you work with someone to capture the feelings of an
Yeah, I
animal.
think for Pope it was I just thought he had like there was a line in the script in the pilot and it repeated a couple times that he stared through people. He just had this unnerving stare. He looked at people too long or when he was staring at Nikki when she was sleeping. Um so I crafted him around a wolf.
I was gonna guess.
I
Yeah.
could see that. Yeah, I could see
Right.
that. Now that I'm thinking back on it. Yeah.
Well, it's like when you're creating a character, that's why the whole Abbott of it all is so surprising to me because I did spend a lot of time figuring out like the voice of Pope and the way he holds his face and the way he's physically is. That's just sort of like the physical stuff, but then the emotional work with Pope, just understanding that, you know, he's very disturbed and he seems like a very a nefarious character, very much like the movie in the pilot. And but I knew that it was important for the character to be successful because I expected to make many, many episodes, that there had to be some sort of emotional element that the audience could root for. And obviously because of the way he was brought up, Smurf had a lot to do with that. So you do feel sympathy for him. Um, but what was very surprising for me with Abbott was, and I think we've talked a lot about it, but I wanted him to be as stripped down and like, as I'm doing with my hands right now, like me as possible. Um, and um, because the procedure of it all is what we work outwardly from. The performance, it just becomes, it's almost like a documentary. It just becomes so authentic and grounded. And so I didn't want to mess with any of that by like trying to present this voice or present, obviously he has a prosthetic leg, so that kind of shaped a little bit of how I moved around with him. But for the most part, he's as close to me as anything I've ever, experienced.
Yeah, it's cool. I think
Yeah.
there's scenes where you're like running in the background and you actually like you run like somebody who has a prosthetic. So it's like really cool. You only get to see this if you cut these clips every day. Like,
Yeah, the constant fast forwarding backing. Speaking of that, so I feel like you did answer this question in the past, but did you when did you find out exactly he had a prosthetic that was when you were gonna change the physicality of the role?
I knew right away when
Right away. Okay.
when it was offered to me, because Scott sent me a like pretty in-depth, backstory. Uh, and when I had my first fitting, I saw John and Scott, and I asked if they wanted me to have any kind of, affectation, and they were pretty like quickly said no, you know, which I figured, but wasn't sure. But even still, like, when Abbott had to move fast or when he had to get down or like, there was actually a scene which they don't really show too much of where he's doing CPR and I was on a like a stool and I because it's a below the knee, you know, uh what's the word I'm looking for? It's below the knee, so he could definitely get on a stool, but just things like that. You're just kind of like trying to understand the physics of it, which
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like. I'm doing the best I can, and you obviously don't want to give anything away either because it is such a big reveal at the end.
mhm.
The only reason
Actually,
I even knew was because I was on Twitter and everybody was like,
they
"Oh,
figured it
he's
out
moving his
actually.
leg in this shot," like that, because there was like a behind the scenes photo and
Yeah. With the blue
the blue
sock,
sock was on it.
right?
Yeah, and so I
Yeah,
was
they
like,
figured it out.
"Damn!" I figured it out before the episode came out. But yeah, it was a crazy
You
reveal.
did? You figured it out before the episode came out?
Somebody
Yeah,
posted about it. Yeah.
yeah, somebody posted a still and you had the blue screen like sock on.
Yeah.
So somebody was like, "Oh, Abbott's an
What
amputee."
if
We were
he's an
like,
amputee, guys?
"What if?" Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were like, "Oh, okay, we knew," but it was
You guys
still
you're experts on this stuff. You really are.
no, we're just too subversed into the culture, unfortunately. But following up, V,
Yeah. No, oh man, we spoke so much about Abbott. I feel weird circling back to Animal Kingdom. Nobody ever asked you, like, when did you find out that Pope was gonna die? Like, did you know?
I
Did you
didn't
did
know.
you want him to? Like, is that what you
No, I
think?
mean, I didn't find out until I don't think I found out until I read the last episode.
Oh man.
damn,
We didn't actually when we both were watching it together, that's how we met each other. We didn't know Pope was gonna die. We really thought he'd live because I feel like writing so much stuff for a character and then marking him as like irredeemable seems so just like mean. So
we
we
were,
really thought, and then you
yeah,
dropped
like
the spoiler.
when I started watching, I was like, I just feel like this isn't gonna end well for him. Like he's very clearly doomed by the narrative. And I was
Hmm.
like, I really, really hope he makes it though, because like let's be honest. And then I'm on like season 5, episode 7 or something, and then you go ahead and drop that spoiler. I'm like, oh, okay, V. So
Yeah,
so we're
no,
done.
that
We're
was me
done. We know
too. We
Pope's
were
gone.
watching
We're done.
together. We
We
were
had like
watching
one
together.
season left.
And
We were
and
cooked.
he
I
tweeted he
had
tweeted
no.
the finale and
Yeah.
his exact words were, "Are you guys ready for one last dip in the pool?"
Yeah, you're sick for that. You're sick for that, man. Are you ready for a let's dip in the pool? Like,
So
why?
sick.
Like,
It's
that's
just
crazy.
Well, listen, first of all, I apologize. I didn't know people were watching it. It was before it was on Netflix, so I had no. I mean, and we're like, what, 4 years after it aired?
Yeah, okay, well, that's what I did give you
we'll give you
grace on. I
that.
was like,
Yeah.
listen, we were late, that's
But
fine.
that all happened before that. Now is on Netflix, and it's just like,
But you just came in hot on like a Sunday, like the vibe I bring to the function. We were like,
And it's
damn, like
deleted. And it's
nobody's safe.
deleted.
And he deleted it, and he deleted it. Yeah, when did you leave that? He felt bad as
well,
hell.
once I saw it was on Netflix, I deleted it just because I had no, they didn't tell us. Nobody knew that it was going to be moved to. I mean, it's not moved; it's on both. Um,
I kind of got that vibe
I
from
will
the
say though, if you watch, first of all, you're right. I mean, and I know I talk about Romeo and Juliet, but the sort of kind of characters they are, they're very tragic character.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is set up that way. And if you watch the original movie, I don't know if you did, but Pope is killed in the last frame of the movie by Jay. He shoots him in the head. Um, so, I mean, not that we were following exactly, but I think that that was always in the back of my mind what they were gonna have happen. There was there were some there was a scene in the final script which he didn't die. Let me just put it this way. It changed because I couldn't accept like there was I'm trying to be I'm trying to be vague here because I don't want to say what it was actually in the script, but I had a real problem with how I mean we discussed it. I just didn't want him to go out in a way I've had so many people reach out to me that are dealing with mental health and personality disorders and people that have approached me and said thank you, you know, thank you for giving this character a voice or giving somebody with borderline personality a voice because they're not just bad people. Like there's conditions that have created them, and there's you know these characters, these people, they can live successful lives. And when I see Pope in a relationship with somebody, it's just, it makes me feel good. So I just didn't want him to go out in a way that didn't, you know, give these people that have identified and been moved by Pope, you know, something to be hopeful about.
In a
That's
way, it's sorry, but in a way, it's almost like he at least halfway went out on his own terms. Like,
Yeah.
like he let Jay go and then he set the house
That's like,
ablaze, and
yeah,
just
to me, that was always like, oh, Pope kind of forgives himself for everything he did to like Julia.
Yeah.
And like I really like a lot of people hate Smurf, but she's like one of my favorite characters. Weirdly, she's really cool. I
you
just think that
you might be alone in that. No,
yeah, I
I
might
think
be
she's a good
I
character. Yeah.
but if you think about it, Pope is like the only person who understood why Smurf was the way she was
Yeah.
and why Jay did all of that. And then the only, I'd like to think that he went out on his terms and he ended up like forgiving himself. Setting fire to the house was his own way of saying,
Mhm.
oh, I'm letting go right now and forgiving myself for everything I did to Julia. That's just how I see it.
It's funny. I just watched the first season on Netflix because I've been getting such a
With those
response
numbers.
and people are flipping out, and I haven't watched it since it aired on uh on TNT, you know, however many years ago that was. And I'll say two things. One, like seeing it without commercials is awesome. It's just and the other thing is I think that first season was so tight and perfectly drawn. Like all of the characters are wonderful. The performances are so good. The Jonathan Lisco, who is our creator, who I also worked with on Southland, he's just very good at all the arcs and bringing the tension. I feel like that first season, things are happening in such a way that like the pressure with that Jay is feeling from the cops, and then the relationship with the teacher, and what's going on with Pope and Smurf and how they handle Catherine, it all comes together. And then there's only kind of one heist, and I really liked that heist. I thought it was so smart. It's just a really good first season, you know.
It
I
is.
mean,
No, it's
the
very
show is
solid.
great altogether, but me myself watching it as a fan was I really enjoyed it. And I'm not just blowing smoke up my own ass here. I think it's quality stuff, you know. And I hear you, V. I get why you like Smurf because you know,
No, it
she's
was so
bad.
cool. She just came into the room and like manipulated these grown-ass men who never took they never took responsibility until the end and it pissed me off so bad. Like not even
Yeah.
once you feel like doing something for your mother. I mean, yeah, I mean, very few people get that, I guess, but I don't know. She seemed like a really cool character to me.
For sure.
But following that, like if we're gonna, since we're just yapping about Animal Kingdom, do you genuinely believe that Pope is irredeemable or no?
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Um, gosh. Mm.
Tuffy.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we also don't think he's redeemed. We very much wanted him to get redeemed. I think especially that line I was just rewatching one of the episodes you directed, which was when I think Julia, it's the title, when Pope brings Angela to the meeting and
Mhm.
she's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
getting in
yeah.
his face and he's like, why not? Like
Yeah,
literally,
why
why
can't he make
can't things
amends?
be
Yeah, yeah.
different? Why can't people change?
Mhm.
Why isn't there, you know? So
So
yeah,
he
I don't know.
can't.
I Pope supremacy. I don't know. I genuinely was fighting for him till the end. I was watching him rob six banks in a row, like he's doing that. Yeah,
I know it's interesting too. Like even I mean, all like the worst thing he ever did was what happened to Kath, and um, just going back and watching it and seeing how he he's so loyal to the family that he would have done anything to protect them, and and I think in the heat of that moment that she probably would have survived if she didn't lie to his if she didn't tell him while they were having sex that she loved him.
yeah,
No, it was just too much for him to take. It was too much for him
yeah,
to take because it's it's like she was two lies in, and then the third lie it was just like he's not in control of it, but it's so many things are happening for him in that moment, and I don't know, man. He a complex character. I'm glad I got to play him. I really am. It's my favorite character, and that's why I get so
really,
excited about about Animal Kingdom.
yeah,
I mean, I think it's a good show, but I do think that it's a wonderful character that people should hate and don't.
yeah. I've
There,
definitely met people who do, but I don't stand with them.
no, I was just thinking of like the shift in demographic. Like I was been going through your tweets, right? So when you used to live tweet Animal Kingdom, it used to be like these white women in their 40s going, Shawn Hatosy, oh my God, Pope is so like so and so. And now it's like these 20-year-olds in your comments like watching Animal Kingdom. So yeah, it has found a new audience. I just wanted to like acknowledge that part.
It's incredible. And I like now on TikTok, which TikTok is whatever it is. Like I don't, I have to accept it because it's flooding with engagement. Like, but it started out mostly just I think younger girls, but now it's coming back. Like people are like it's rounding out. The engagement is rounding out with people um who watched it originally and now are watching it again. And so I don't know, maybe like all of this excitement can get us another season, you know?
People talk about that all the time. I have no idea how it's gonna go, but you know what?
I have an
Whatever.
idea.
Oh, okay.
Can we hear it?
No.
I don't think it's gonna share.
All right.
Oh,
I
okay,
just
yeah.
figured I'd put the bird out.
Your last episode directing in Animal Kingdom was 2022, right? And that was like the first few episodes of season 6. And then immediately after, it's like 2024, Rescue High Surf episode 11 or something like that. So there's a
Mhm.
huge gap there, like 2 or 3 years. Like, and Rescue High Surf is like completely different. Animal Kingdom is like a closed set, double locations, if I'm not wrong. It is a closed set. But Rescue High Surf is like in the middle of the beach. You're in water, literally. There's literally no content of you directing Rescue High Surf. It makes me really angry. So just would you like to share something about that? Like how was it directing that?
Um, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a challenging episode. It was kind of what they would, I mean, it's not a bottle episode, but it's because it was a tsunami warning, it was different than all the shows that led up to it, where it was filled with tourists and people. This was like less. And you're kind of dealing with an inciting incident that you're imagining because it's tsunami is coming. So creating all that tension and stuff sort of my responsibility. Um, and and I really enjoyed it. It was so much harder than anything I had done on Animal Kingdom. Because of a number of things. There were some rewrites that came through at the last minute, a lot of changes, which, as a director for hire, you just go with, you have to. And then there was a lot of rain in Hawaii at the time. And we shoot through that because that show doesn't have an interior. So you're from, when the sun comes up, the sun goes down, those are your hours.
12
So when
hours.
if it rains for an hour, you either shoot it or you kind of have to go down for an hour and then you lose that hour. You don't get it back tomorrow, so and then I did have some work on the water. I mean, every episode does. And that stuff is very challenging. It's a whole different unit. Um, it is without, you have monitors, but not really. You're kind of going off of what the operator said, and the operator's great, this guy Don King. But you have to sort of trust him when he's like, "Yeah, we got it." You're like, "Okay, cool. I trust you," because there's no playback. You're out in the ocean, and
Oh,
um, so I loved it. It's very frustrating to not be directing more. I think because I want to, and I am trying to, but it's not it's as competitive as anything else. So um I'm very fortunate to John for having given me the opportunity 5 times now, and can't wait to do it again.
we hope you do.
Following, yeah, we hope so. I noticed you really like a lot of like following action shots, like in Rescue High Surf, like someone's throwing someone a beer and like the camera's following it all the way to the other person, or just that scene in Animal Kingdom when Pope's going one way and it circles into Craig and Darren on this side. Um, do you have like, is it just like you think that looks cool, or is it like more, is there more
I
to that?
I do like I love point of view stuff. Like I would rather be over somebody than in front of them, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. And I think that's just because that's the style that John and Chris use so often. But I think it works. Like John has a lot of rules about how to, do stuff. And sometimes we go off them, but he's not really into like drone shots, or he's not really into the techno crane shots.
No.
Yeah.
I'll try to get him in, and sometimes when I watch it on the air, they won't be in there because he takes them out. Um, but I think what you're saying, Alex, is sort of one of the big rules that John follows. If I have a chance to put a camera in the car, I will do it every time. If the car is driving in, I always love it behind them, you
Yeah.
know, over their shoulders as it lands. And sometimes there's like rules about having operators in cars if actors are driving. But whenever I have a driving shot, I love, even if there's no dialogue, if it's just them looking, I'll have the camera behind their shoulder and like doing a little, because I feel like motion is cool. And if you have the opportunity to move the camera and it's justified, then I just love the way that looks.
Yeah, I think it feels like more real. I feel like you're like actually in the scene, like you're actually like absorbing way more of what's happening in the scene with those shots. So I just
Totally.
personally find them really cool.
Yeah, John also has another rule which does get broken, but he doesn't like the hostess trays, which are basically when you have a driving shot, if sometimes you'll see where the camera is mounted on the
On either
hood
side.
in,
Yeah,
or looking through the window.
yeah,
You know, uh I'm not sure if it's because it takes time to, you have to mount them, and and so that can take time. So I'm not sure if he's not really into them because it's more efficient, or if it's because of the style. Because if you're using a hostess tray or you're mounting on the hood, like whose point of view is that?
yeah.
It's one of those rules that you're like, and it makes sense. So it's usually the French overs when they're in the car or behind them, or sitting in the passenger seat looking at the driver this way, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I think they're cool. You have to address the elephant in the room, your Twitter.
Yes.
So yeah, you enjoy Twitter as a comedy platform, and you also you love to go on about the old days of Twitter. Which, by the way, like I wasn't there in like 2009, but I was certainly there. I was on Twitter when I shouldn't have been. So
I was
but
34 when he started
he was
Twitter.
34.
We
He
were
was
10.
34.
I was 10
I
years
was
old.
11. I was 11. I
Hilarious.
But you were tweeting anything. I
Yeah, oh
genuinely
my
you were
God.
just didn't matter the audience, you would get maybe like 50
Three
50 likes,
likes.
maybe 3 likes, one tweet that just says iPad that has
Yeah.
absolutely zero
I
interactions.
have a favorite one and I have to code it. I have to code my favorite one. It's like, oh, and what about the time they hacked into my account and tried to sell people boner pills for 30% off, huh? Are we gonna cave into their demands too?
That's
Like,
hilarious.
Yeah.
what is that? Like, my favorite part is when I have look at the year, right? And then I calculate how old was Shawn Hatosy when he tweeted this, and it will be like you're 36.
You 36. That's
All
him.
right. Is there a question here
No,
No,
or
the
there's no
question's
question.
coming. The question's coming. The question's coming. Okay, so you were throwing out the bangers left and right, entirely different audience. You had maybe like 4 middle-aged mom in the replies being like, "So funny, Shawn," like 6 laughing emojis. So compared to that audience, the audience you have now, but honestly, were you just tweeting for the love of the game? Like, obviously you said it's a comedy platform, but like, really, what made you lock in, I guess?
okay, so Twitter, I got a Twitter account solely for the purpose of promoting Southland, which at the time was kind of not really, I mean, it was okay, it did okay. But it moved to TNT and I think Michael Cudlitz, that's what brought me to Twitter. And so we developed kind of like a rapport on Twitter and
We've seen.
I don't know that the audience grew, but it certainly was an opportunity for when the episodes aired to engage with the audience. And then Twitter kind of blew up a little bit. And I started finding accounts that tweeted like I tweet. I'm not talking about my promoting days on Southland, but the weird ones you're talking about. There were a lot of people I started to follow who were there just for just trying to
Yeah.
make people laugh. So, that's why I tweeted that way. I had a group of people that I followed and that also followed me. So I was really just trying to make them laugh.
Mhm.
And sometimes I did, and sometimes I didn't. But I don't really care, you know.
A group of
And
oafs,
then,
if you will.
and then what happened was, uh, then I started once you mix like the comedy with the promoting, like the comedy people don't really care about the shows you do. So I think my audience with those people went away, and I just sort of started focusing on when Animal Kingdom came out, and it was an opportunity to let people know that this episode was coming, and that's where the middle-aged ladies came into the
So
equation.
many of them. They were so passionate. It was crazy. I do
And
remember.
now I don't know what's going on. Honestly, I went away and came
We
back.
don't either.
I don't know what Twitter is. I certainly don't like I would go into Twitter before and like look at trending topics and literally follow news on Twitter or you can't do that anymore. It doesn't exist. I
Yeah,
literally only go and look at my stuff now.
we can tell.
Yeah, we guess that, yeah. Following up, you are the only living source for some of your Twitter
Yeah.
interactions.
Everybody's
There's some
suspended
tweets.
or they
Yeah,
deleted it. So
there's
it's,
one he just said what it was like, I will cut you.
yeah, oh my
He was just
God.
like, I will cut you. And it's like, and we cannot see who the hell you're replying to. So it's like,
Yeah. So
who are you threatening and
makes it
I
so
why?
think
Like,
much funnier.
it was a joke. I'm pretty sure it was some response to not
maybe
like
something Animal Kingdom.
yeah.
No, it's 2016. I don't know.
I
Well,
don't,
I don't know.
I
I
don't
guess
know.
we'll never know. I
Lost
guess you might not.
forever.
You'll never
He
remember.
did promote Southland too. At one point of time, he was like, I think he tweeted at Ben McKenzie. He was like, Ben McKenzie, Southland is coming to Hulu. Five more people might watch it.
I know.
That was a good one. Which, speaking of, I actually have not been able to watch Southland because it's not on any streaming service.
I'm in season three.
And it costs $50 to buy the series on Apple. So can you talk to someone about that? Like, is there any like sort of
Southland
reach you
after
have?
Animal
Like,
Kingdom.
how do we get shows on streaming? I
No,
I'm just trying to view it to see
I
what you're
don't
talking
understand.
about.
Yeah, I don't understand that. It was on Max and then it was on like Tubi or something. I don't know. I'm
TV.
sure it'll find an audience again. Um, I know it's not for everybody, but I think
Yeah,
it's a pretty good show,
I
actually.
just want to put
Yeah,
that out there,
it's
manifest
not,
it
I
into the
mean, it's
universe.
not typical. It's not like Chicago PD where it's like open and shut. It's like we don't I mean, for the most part, we don't solve a case every episode. I think it's more about the personal lives than it is about the cases. But it's also steeped in procedure and getting that part of it right. So that's why I
Yeah.
like
No, yeah. That's why I honestly don't care about the opening and closing cases, so that's why I would
it.
enjoy it. Um, okay, following that, just going based again off of your Twitter, because back in quarantine, you were binging shows like everyone else. Two of note are The Great British Bake Off and Cheer. So I'm just wondering, like, what are your favorite watches, guilty pleasures? You really like Cheer.
I had like completely forgot about Cheer until just now. That's how important
That
that
there was a
Well,
tweet
it
for that
feels
too.
like
There
the
was a
good of
tweet.
Daytona.
I think like right now I'm watching, well, I personally like documentaries like so any kind of reality is particularly like true crime stuff. I'm really into it. I will watch it. I will sometimes watch it more than once. I like that more than anything. If I like making a murderer. I don't know if you guys watched that. Did you watch it?
I heard of that one. I didn't watch it though. Making a Murderer, yeah.
You got to watch that on
All right,
Netflix.
let me write it down. Yeah, Making a Murderer. Got you.
Yeah, I will take that over like a scripted show
Okay.
anytime because it's
He
fascinating.
likes Friends, I think. Yeah, he
Well,
tweeted a
yeah,
lot
that is
about
his
Ross and
favorite.
Rachel and stuff like that.
Friends is one of my favorite shows. Yes,
That's classic. He also tweeted about Seinfeld at one point. But
I
okay, so
I love
more
Seinfeld, but
more recently,
I am a huge like I've seen my son and I, my 12-year-old, and I watch we he you like if you quizzed him on Friends trivia, it would make you sick how
he's
well.
just like me at 12. That's exactly what I was doing at 12. So I stand with him. Um, but there's no like current or in the last 5 years like scripted shows that you're like, oh, this is good. Are there any?
Of
Just curious.
course. Yeah, I mean, I am a big fan of almost everything that HBO does. I loved, like Big Little Lies. I loved
Ooh,
Marriage
yeah. He tweeted
Story.
about this once, I think. Some random
Yeah.
article where he says Big Little Lies. Their
I
recent shows have been
love,
really good. Have you seen the White Lotus, or did you lie about that too?
I've seen every episode of White Lotus.
Okay, didn't lie. Okay, I mean, what'd you think of this new season then? I don't know. I was on and
I
off
liked
about
it.
it.
I mean, I think that show is great because of the characters, and I think that, the performances are great. And I mean, this season, I enjoyed it. I really did. I hear some of the complaints. I think season two was the best season for
I
what.
Yeah,
agree. That's what I said. Everybody thought I was crazy for that.
But I think they're all good. I mean, I'll watch
right?
whatever, and
Like
I
five
would.
more of these, please.
Yeah, that's great. I think he's so talented. What an incredibly talented
Mike
writer,
White,
and the way
yeah.
he directs it, and it's all cool.
Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, so top three. This is like the rapid fire portion.
Yeah,
So
and then it
top
became my
three,
show.
top three movies, directors, video games.
Okay, movies. All right, so number one for me is Back to the Future.
Classic.
Yeah, I'm sorry, very predictable.
It's
I
a
don't.
classic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to pick.
You
Um,
can use recency bias, maybe something you
no,
watched recently.
another one of my favorite movies of all time is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I love that movie. Have you seen it?
Of
Oh,
course.
You've seen
What?
it.
You haven't, Alex? Are you serious? Yeah.
no.
You guys
Listen,
see
I've
that.
been bad lately.
There's
Then
that
the
clip of him at the awards going, "Sorry guys, I've been institutionalized," when he's
yeah.
accepting the award.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I gotta lock in. I gotta lock in.
Let's see what else. Another movie. I don't know. All right, video games. We'll say Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty.
Yeah, we
Uh,
got that.
Go GoldenEye, which was on Nintendo, which was like the first kind of very popular first-person shooter. It's a James Bond thing on
No, I was gonna
Nintendo.
say that sounds like James Bond.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was awesome. And then what else? I mean, I love Mario. I'm into Mario. Oh, Animal
Yes.
Crossing. I love Animal Crossing.
I was just gonna bring up the Animal Crossing. Didn't you have like every hybrid flower or
Yeah, he
I
something?
had
tweeted
every
about that too.
How the hell did you do
during
that?
COVID. Yeah, during COVID, I figured it out. I mean, I
That's
literally had to go on YouTube to figure it out, but I did it.
honestly, that's where your accolade should go to because honestly, that is harder than playing Pope, if I'm being honest. Like that hybrid flowers,
I got
every
them
single
all.
one, every
Five
single
Star
one.
Island. Yep.
Oh my
Five
God.
Star Island, like
This is so
damn,
serious for him. Oh my
it's
God.
so serious for him.
People love that you like Call of Duty though, but you probably play like the do you play like the campaigns and stuff or like Black
No,
Ops,
no, just
Modern Warfare?
multiplayer.
See multiplayer. But yeah, people love when we post this on Twitter. They're like, "Oh, Shawn Hatosy loves Call of Duty."
I do. I mean, I
True.
don't play it. I only play it when it comes out for like a couple months, like a month or two, and then I put it away. But then when the new one comes out, I always get it.
Isn't
Oops.
there a new one coming out, or it just came out, or no?
I think it came out. It usually comes out in November.
Oh,
Mo
okay. I don't have a
Modern
system, so I should.
Warfare 3 came out like 1 year ago. That much I
Okay.
remember. Uh-huh.
Okay. This one's about music. So you've recently said talk show host is one of your all-time favorite songs.
hmm
Um, what are your, can you just, how would you describe your music taste? Like, what are your top songs, artists, albums?
Shit. I love music. I like, I'll listen to anything. I'm into, um, but yeah, I love like Radiohead would have been one of my favorite bands. Yeah, that my taste has definitely changed. But I grew up in the 90s grunge era was happening when I graduated high school in 1994, so all of that generation of artists are huge to me. And I think you know who I'm talking about, like, Pearl Jam and Nirvana and all
Yeah.
that stuff was kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
But I'm into everything. Right now, I mean, Cage the Elephant is a band I really like a lot.
they're good.
Um, okay, there's that. Any other questions?
Oh, well, this one's kind of
He
self-indulgent now
he's
because I want to
he's
know.
he's ready to answer anything. Do you make like playlists for each of your characters? I've seen like some actors do that.
Yeah.
I make a playlist when I direct,
Interesting. Okay.
and I usually know the music when I mean, I have my goal songs, so that I'll usually direct with those in my head, and then sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't.
I feel like I
Cool.
already know this answer, but are you an Apple Music user or Spotify?
Apple Music.
Ugh,
Yep, I knew it. I told you he's probably got
disgusting.
that Apple One plan with that Apple Watch and
Disgusting.
everything.
Disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah. All right. Well, we move. Okay, no, I do want to ask though, self-indulgent. Have you ever heard of the band Bleachers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
In
epic.
fact, I had their song Tiny Movers
Let's go.
for
Tiny moves. Tiny moves. Yep.
Tiny
Let's go.
Moves for the
Yeah.
end of my Hawaii show. For a minute, it was in there, but it
Oh
didn't.
yeah. No, I love Bleachers. All right, well that's epic. I think you should listen to more of Bleachers, possibly like the Strange Desire album for
Okay.
Abbott if you wanted to. It's all
Okay.
about grief and their
He's
music
writing it
is
down.
heavy on
He's
grief and journey. Strange
All right. You
Desire.
guys have any suggestions for how I should perform on my social media anymore? You want to insult me in any ways? My
No,
color of
where
t-shirt or like
Mind you, like we weren't even the ones starting the t-shirt
Yeah, I
conversation.
swear.
This one I'm curious about. You've mentioned that you were a lead singer in a band once upon a time. Um, can you share a little more? You said you thought you were going places. What was that like? What kind
Yeah,
of music did you play?
the first band I was in was more of like a punk band, and then it kind of more of like Tool. Did you remember the band Tool? They're sort of almost heavy metal, but they have a little bit of uh, um, more melodic sounding melodies, and then I was in a band called Element, which was more like a 311 type band, kind of
Yeah,
like, you know. So we were good. I mean, we were good. I wasn't a great singer, but you didn't really have to be,
yeah.
in
Not for
style.
pop punk.
No. So, but the acting thing was happening at the same time. But we would play out. We played shows in Baltimore, and it was fun. I really enjoyed. That was kind of my favorite time, really.
Okay.
Graduating high school and then going out and playing band shows. Um,
You had that you posted that one photo, that long hair you
Yeah,
had. You were
I have a
wow.
lot of
shirtless.
photos. I have a lot of band photos,
Can you
which
share
I
some
won't.
more?
None of
Yeah,
which is seeing the light of day.
Like
This is
like
sick. Like,
with your permission, but like if you want to share some more.
I
I'll
will.
shut
Yeah,
up.
I'll share some more. I have a lot. Ugh.
Okay,
So
so you weren't a great singer, but you loved it for the game. I appreciate that. I wouldn't know. We don't know what you sound like. I've only seen you sing in that 6 Feet Under episode.
what?
by the
That Six
way,
Feet Under
that
episode.
episode was so the eulogy in that episode was written as a poem.
And you
And
decided to sing it.
yeah. And I was like, well, he's a singer. So I was like, can I sing it? And Rodrigo Garcia directed it. And he was like, well, do you have a song in mind? And I was like, I wrote this thing. And he was like, let me hear it. So I sang it. And he was like, yeah, do that.
So you wrote that? You actually wrote that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. No, I love
Well,
Six
I
Feet
didn't
Under. It's a
write the
great show.
words. The words, they
Oh,
wrote the
okay.
words. They wrote the poem, and then I wrote the whatever the melody.
Oh, the melody. Okay. I love 6 Feet Under, so I was rewatching that episode, and I was just like, I just it wasn't connecting in my head that that was you. So like when I'm watching it, I'm like, no way, this man just started singing, and I was just like, it's so funny.
Funny.
Um, that
By
was
the way, there's
great.
the director of that did a short film called Christine, which is on YouTube. Did you see that?
No, oh, I think I saw that in your IMDb, but I did not
Oh,
watch
it's
it yet.
on
No,
YouTube. Up there's
no.
a clip. It's me and
All right,
America.
Mackey's giving us homework. All right,
Yeah,
Yeah,
America.
Christine, Christine, I got it.
They're
now our
hard-hitting
questions are
questions.
done, but there's just one final one, and I
More
deserve to get the
final.
answer to this. And you cannot
Okay.
lie this time. Just look into the camera and tell us if you still hate avocados.
Avocados are coming around for me. I personally, there was a time where they would show up on a sandwich and I wouldn't eat it, but now I will eat it. But I still don't think it's improving the sandwich. I think it's a
Multi,
cop.
oh my God, multi-year hate campaign against avocados. He was
I
so
don't
passionate about
understand
it.
like the consistency on a sandwich doesn't really work for avocado. In
Yo,
my
he's mad
opinion,
as hell.
am I wrong?
I have no strong opinions about avocados
Yeah, I'm
either.
I'm 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 pretty
Um,
neutral on this. I like
yeah,
if it's there, it's fine. If it's not there, I'm fine. I'm not gonna,
he's
You
just
just
so
have to know
crash
passionate
that
about
out.
it.
before there was never avocados on sandwiches, and now all of a sudden
It's a
it's
late
It's
craze, yeah.
everywhere.
And you should know because when you moved to LA, I'm sure that popped up quick. I think it started there, really.
it did. It did.
Okay, well, thank you for answering that honestly. The people have been wondering for a very long time.
People being me, I'm the one
Yeah,
who.
just V.
She's the originator of that. I do want to say.
I
Other
know.
people
Well,
started
now
asking
you're
me
now
about
you
her.
can sleep. Now you know.
Okay.
Amazing.
I do have so thank you, Shawn, very much for this conversation. We are gonna have a lot of fun cutting these clips.
Yeah, and
Wow.
Um,
don't make me look like an asshole.
We have that on clip. Okay.
all right. That's
We're
why
gonna
we
post
have that.
we're gonna post
We have
just
that.
that part and
Yeah.
tease it.
And
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Ready or Not 2 is gonna be like the first time we're gonna see you on a big screen. I'm just super excited about that.
Yeah, we're
I'm
excited
very
to see that.
excited too. It's gonna be
We're
good.
gonna
It's gonna
figure out
be
like a cross Zoom situation so we can watch each other in the theater. And all right,
Yes.
thank you, Shawn.
All right, we'll be in touch. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Have
Bye.
a
day.
good day,
Take care.
okay?
All right,
Bye.
bye. Well, you better be nice.
Have
If your editing is not nice, you know, I have no ways of getting back.
Do you? I don't know. I don't know.
People are strange, really, honestly. I don't, you know, whatever. But yeah, hey, I won the golf tournament, by the way. I saw a tweet.
You did?
Yeah,
What?
I did. Yeah.
He said, I
And
saw
That's
you
my
saying I
favorite.
lost.
and then I played Andy Roddick straight up in
Oh
singles.
my God, it is so
And then did you
serious for
win
him.
or he
He's
won?
defending himself like
I
crazy.
could not, I could not, I think it was 11-5 he beat me.
Oh. Did you, were
Well,
And
you,
you
then
know, you
yeah,
wait,
I
wait.
mean Andy Roddick is a professional tennis player. He's very
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It
Did
was
you
fun,
like,
and I'm not defending. It was fun. It was all
Yeah.
like fun.
did
And
you
what I
like
like
practice for pickleball, this one single pickleball thing
No,
for
no,
like
I
two
played
months in
pickleball.
Toronto? Like,
No,
he
no,
said,
no.
I play pickleball. I play pickleball.
No, when I was like, when I go to Hawaii, I play pickleball, and when I went to
oh,
Chicago, I play pickleball, and when I go to wherever I go, I'll find pickleball and
Yeah,
play
you were in Toronto playing pickleball.
because it's
Mm.
easier to find pickleball than it is to find tennis.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember when we were reporting on that, we were like, Sean Hatosy has been allowed to escape his hotel room and to go play a game of pickleball. Because every interview we got, it was just the hotel
Like
room.
just that
Like,
one Zoom background, that one hotel room.
I was busy.
it was
He was
so good.
busy. He was locked in
Sure.
between scenes. I can't even hold him. Um, okay, I have to know really quick if you can recall. You followed Club Hattasy, like first you liked and retweeted us, and
Yes.
then like 4 hours later you followed us
Yeah.
after stalking my individual account. So
Mhm.
I really do. What was the brand? Were you like, oh my God, I finally have a fan account? What came? Did you see how professional we were, how funny we
Yeah,
were?
I just
What
thought I
was it?
thought the content was like, you know, generally it amused me and I this it was almost like you were doing promotion for me that I didn't have to do. And so um
That free PR,
Great.
I'm in.
It's great to hear that. It's great to get
Yeah,
acknowledged.
it's hard work.
yeah, it
All
is.
right, cool. Thank you.
But
We appreciate
I
that.
did see that both of you were generally, you know, not because there's a lot of hate on there. And so I felt like I could trust, you know, that you were in
Genuine.
support and not
Yeah.
like just, you know, um
Definitely. It's definitely genuine, man. And you know that when we're bullying you, it's all out of jest and just to put that
Oh,
out there.
no, no.
Poke
I
fun.
completely appreciate everything that you guys do. And as these things go, like whatever happens, I think you're talented at what you do. I also think the other part about it for me, and it goes back to what I said originally. I always thought that Twitter was a perfect place for comedy. And you guys are good at like sort of, you know, bringing the insults in a way in a way that is you know, I don't take myself seriously,
Yeah.
right?
Clearly.
Like, that's important, and so that's on brand, and so that's why, you know, that's why I appreciate the account.
Word. I had to know. It was racking my brain. I was like, what is he doing on this Sunday? All right.
Well, I mean,
Good.
look, I mean, I'll come back if you make me look good, for crying out
You'll come
loud.
back. All right. So okay, let's make him look good so we can try to get another interview out of him at some point, perhaps before Emmys, after Emmys, whichever it is.
Yes.